Encred thinks that he picked up some trophies to buy a new sword with this in the market. He picked them up while coming from the magician tunnel. He tosses those trophies to the blacksmith, and he screams out upon seeing them. He asks if these really are magic tools. He further says that even one of these is worth enough to buy a full set of new equipment. Encred stays serious, and tells the blacksmith to give him the best sword with this money. The blacksmith asks if he just keeps thinking about swords all the time. Encred, while climbing the hill, thinks that a person lives and dies by the swords, as their sword is the lifeline. He believes heading out without a good sword is a foolish choice. Pin looks at Encred after reaching the top of the cliff. She sighs and says he should have left his longsword behind. Even if he put away all his other weapons, carrying that thing alone will drain all his stamina. Encred also thinks that the sheer weight of the sword is crushing him on this climb. However, our protagonist grabs the rock and thinks that he can't give up yet. He believes that if he pushes his muscles to limits, then they will become stronger. He starts climbing the hill as two moons come up at nighttime. Encred finally grabs onto the top of the cliff and thinks that he has met a lot of walls and overcame them countless times. He pants heavily after reaching the top and thinks this much won't stop him. Pin says that he's making things difficult for himself. Even Torres looks stunned at Encred's determination. He wonders if that bastard brought that sword along with him on the climb to train with it. He thinks that he hasn't seen anyone as insane as him. As the moon comes out, some night hounds growl in the dark. Encred looks at the running hounds from the cliff and says they are a pack of lycanthropes. Torres also chimes in and says that it's rare to see them moving in such a big pack. Pin walks forward while Encred keeps looking down. She advises them to keep their guard up from now on. Eventually, the trio reaches the fort, and Encred thinks that he has come face to face with the wall. Everyone crouches down and Pin signals them to stop. Torres inspects the fort and thinks that they can't take cover anywhere in between. Guards are patrolling the fort, and there's no rock or anything behind which they can take cover. Pin tells them not to worry. She says that the guards don't pay much attention when the two moons are up, as they are quite bright. She sees the guard turning away from the edge and says this is their chance. All three of them dash toward the fort while two guards patrol the walls. The guard with the burning flame turns back. However, he sees no one behind, and everything is the same as usual. The trio takes cover below the wall and gasps desperately for air. Pin chuckles and says that things are usually easier on nights like these. However, Encred thinks that the guards might have seen them. He wonders if he's wrong here. Pin rubs dust onto her hands to increase her grip to climb the wall. She says that behind these walls are slums. She takes out the dagger to climb the wall and says they can hide in the slums. She believes that nobody would be able to find them once they reach there. Encred also rubs the dust onto his hand, and Pin advises him to ditch his sword so that they can hide their presence well. She believes this wall would be much harder to climb than the mountain. Encred, with absolute seriousness, replies that it won't be a proper workout for him without some weight on his back. Torres thinks that this guy is even more insane than he thought. Soon enough, the trio starts climbing the wall by thrusting the daggers in. Encred now understands why this is the safest route, as said by Pin. He believes it would be easy to infiltrate Crossguard once they cross the wall. However, that would be only possible if they don't meet someone challenging. Pin reaches the top and looks around quickly. Encred thinks that there could be someone waiting for them at the top of this wall, just like they were ambushed in the tunnels. Pin sees no one around and climbs up the edge. Encred wonders how their enemies plan to stop them now. Suddenly, someone slams its foot onto the floor to gather the intruder's attention. The lady sees the trio and says they must have worked hard to come here at late night. She further says that it's about time that they rest now. She snaps her fingers, and vines emerge out of the ground. Pin notices that she's a magician, and tells Torres to duck. Pin saves Encred and Torres as the vines make their way past them. She then throws her axe at the mage, telling her teammates to run to the base of the wall. The mage catches Pin's axe with the help of the vines. She then crushes it by force, and Encred wonders why there's a mage here. Encred reaches for his sword, and thinks that the enemy has set an impressive trap. Encred quickly dashes forward to the mage with his sword. The mage makes a vine come out in between them and disrupts Encred's attack. Encred dashes forward again and thinks he has dealt with the magician once. He has to use his 6 senses to get to her. The weapon draws closer to the mage's neck, and Encred thinks he can deal with her if he trusts his senses. Encred also remembers what his teammate once said: a strong opponent can fool his senses, especially magicians. The mage attacks Encred with a pile of vines, slowly trapping him in it. Pin and Torres were making their way down the wall when they see that Encred has been caught in the vines. Pin calls him an idiot and asks what he's doing over there. The mage lunges out her other vines at them and kills Pin and Torres by piercing through their chest. Encred does his best to get out of the vines but isn't able to do so. He thinks that they are too thick and he can't get away. The vines slowly start wrapping around Encred's face. The mage walks toward him and comments on his bravery in facing her head-on. Before Encred dies, she introduces herself as Retsha of the Rose Vines. After that, she signals her vines to crush him, and a blue light emerges out of it, thus killing Encred. Later, Encred wakes up in the dream realm. He thinks that all foot soldiers are not equal, and the same applies to the magicians as well. He got too cocky back then, and this got him killed. He got drunk on the fact that he got stronger, and charged at his opponent without analyzing. The spirit shows behind Encred on a boat, and asks if he knows his place now. The spirit says that he's using the power of repeating today to get stronger. Instead of suffering, he should accept his fate against a tall wall. He's nothing but an ant. Encred thanks the spirit, and it takes the spirit by surprise. Our boy gets up and says this talk reignited the spark within him. He says that this is the wall that he needed. The spirit chuckles at his foolishness and says it would like to see how long can he last on that hope.